Welcome to Inspiration Rising. I'm your host, David Trotter, and I'm excited to bring you this special episode to help you start to overcome people-pleasing in your life. I took a few minutes to share a short teaching session as a video in our private Facebook group called Inspiration Rising Insiders, but I wanted to make sure that I shared it with you, our podcast listeners, as well. Now, if you're looking for support and encouragement as you're starting to overcome people-pleasing and take your life to the next level, I want to encourage you to join our private Facebook group. There are so many amazing women and a few guys like me who are cheering each other on as we improve our lives and courageously start doing the things that are deep in our hearts. There's a link to make it very easy to find. Go to insporising.com/insiders, insporising.com/insiders, and it'll take you right to that private Facebook group. Click join, answer a few questions, and I'll welcome you into the community. All right, let's jump into this short session entitled 3 Ways People-Pleasing Causes You to Miss Out on Life. Hello, friends. My name is David Trotter, and I'm your launch coach and the host of the Inspiration Rising podcast. And today I want to talk to you about 3 ways that people-pleasing causes you to miss out on life. Yes, the double P word, people-pleasing. Now, you have heard that word used, obviously. Maybe you've used that word. Maybe you've called someone in your life a people-pleaser. Maybe they've called you a people-pleaser. Hey, I want us to dial in a definition here real quick so that we're all on the same page as we're having this conversation. I believe that people-pleasing is the need to please others or live up to the expectations of others while being unaware of our own needs and desires. Catch this now. People-pleasing is the need to please others or live up to the expectations of others while being unaware, oblivious to our own needs and desires. Now, as we're talking about this, and as you're thinking about how you're motivated in life, whether it be in your home, with your friends, your family, maybe even in the workplace, of course, you got to think about what motivates you. I want you to be aware of 2 types of motivations in your life. One is an extrinsic motivator and an intrinsic motivator. Now, an extrinsic motivation or externally motivated would be being motivated by something outside of yourself. You're motivated by your boss being pleased by your performance. Perhaps you're motivated by a paycheck, by a goal. Maybe you're motivated by your spouse being happy with you. Those are all extrinsic motivations. Someone is being pleased by your behavior, your attitude, your words, your thoughts, and so forth. Another way that we can be extrinsically motivated is by seeking to avoid pain. We go, man, if I perform in a certain way, this person won't scowl at me or say something negative about me. So we can be extrinsically motivated either to experience a reward or to avoid punishment. An intrinsic motivation or an internal motivator would be being motivated by my own desire to live up to my values or dreams. So this would be something where I'm motivated internally, not by what you think, not by what others think, not by whether I'm going to get rewarded or punished, but I'm motivated primarily by what's going on inside of me, my own value system, my own dreams, my own desires. All right. So as we're talking about how people-pleasing causes us to miss out on life, I want you to be aware of what is motivating you, either extrinsically or intrinsically. Now, I want to let you know, and I think you already know this, that everyone in your life, everyone has expectations of you. Every single person that you encounter in life has some sort of expectation of you. Even the person who is walking across the crosswalk as you're coming up to an intersection, they have an expectation of you, right? Their expectation is that you would not run them over, right? They have an expectation, okay? Now, you could be motivated either by an extrinsic motivation in that moment or an intrinsic motivation. The extrinsic motivation says, well, I don't want to kill anybody today because that would really set me back. It would cause me a lot of time. I'd probably have to stay here at the crosswalk for a while. I'll probably get in trouble. Might have to go to jail. That's all an extrinsic motivation. An intrinsic motivation would say, I have a value for human life. I care about this person, even if I don't know their name or their story. And so I'm going to be motivated by stopping before I hit them. You see how that works? That's a little bit of a gory illustration, but geez, that person has an expectation of you that you would not run them over. In the same way, your partner, your spouse, your kids, your coworkers, your boss, everyone has expectations of you. And usually their expectations come from their own agenda. Okay, they have an agenda that they're bringing to the table. It's not right, wrong, good, or bad. Heck, the person walking through the crosswalk, their agenda is to stay alive. That's a good agenda, right? The second is based on your previous behavior. So they would have expectations that you would continue to behave, talk, express your emotions in ways that you have expressed and lived out your life in the past. All right. So those are ways that people have expectations on our lives. Now that we have a definition of people pleasing, we have an awareness of what motivates us either externally or internally, and we're aware that people already have expectations on our lives, either based on their own agenda or our previous behavior. The question comes, are there ways that your people pleasing, your need to live up to the expectations of others is actually causing you to miss out on life? I believe that there are. There are probably multiple ways, but there are three main ways that I want to talk to you today. The first way is that by people pleasing, you are missing out on embracing your true identity. You're missing out on embracing your true identity. If you're seeking to live up to the identity that other people their expectation of who you are and how you will operate in the world, they have an identity in their mind of who you are. And you're actually seeking to live up to the identity that they have about you in their own mind, rather than living out and embracing the true identity that is within you. Now, in our Launch Your Life online coaching experience, which we have one coming out just this September of 2019, really excited about launching that. The way that we talk about our true identity is, number one, your divine imprint. Number two, your life story. Three, your wiring. And four, your strengths. Those four elements combine to make up your true identity of who you are deep down. No matter the car you drive, the education you have, the clothes that you wear, no matter if people are pleased by you or not, those four elements combine to make your true identity. And if you are seeking to live up to the expectations of others and seeking to please other people, unaware of your own true identity, unaware of your own values, unaware of your own desires, you are missing out on embracing the power of your true identity. That's number one. If this topic is resonating with you, I want to invite you to join the Inspiration Rising Insiders. We're talking about this very topic right now and supporting each other in the process. There are quite a few women who are starting new things in their life at 40, 50, 60, 70 years of age, starting something new, and we're cheering each other on. So go to insporising.com/insiders right now. Click join. You'll answer a few questions and I'll invite you into the group, and you can be part of this engaging community so that we can help you create the life that you truly want. Number two, you are missing out on your unique purpose in this season of life. I believe that we don't just have one purpose over the course of our entire lives, but like we walk through in the Launch Your Life program, we start to uncover and see within us the unique purpose that we have in this season of life. If you have a child that's going off to college, you're going to probably have a lot more time on your hands, a lot more energy, maybe a little less money, right? But you are in a unique season of life. And I believe that your purpose starts to reveal itself as you go through these twists and turns. If you're seeking to live up to the expectations of your spouse, your coworkers, your boss, and so forth, they might have a different agenda for your life than if you began to open yourself up to what your unique purpose is in this season of life. But if you're so busy playing into the role that you've always played, living up to the expectations of maybe it's your spouse, where they go, I'm expecting you to not have a job outside the home. I'm expecting you not to go back to school. I'm expecting you not to start that side hustle. Why? Because I'm expecting you to be home and doing certain things all the time, whatever that might be, right? Those might be the expectations that you're used to having upon you, and you've just fallen into living up to those, pleasing him or her in your life. Well, if you're doing that without being aware of your own desires, your own needs, you are missing out on your unique purpose in this season of life. Number one, you're missing out on your true identity and embracing it. Number two, you're missing out on your unique purpose. And number three, you are missing out on those deep down dreams that are within your heart and soul. You are missing out if you're people pleasing, if you're primarily being motivated by an extrinsic motivators, either seeking to live up to the expectations of others, people pleasing, seeking to avoid pain that might be caused by others. You are missing out on those deep down dreams that you know are in your heart and your soul. You might say, oh, Dave, I gave those up when I went to college, or I gave those up when I had kids, or I gave those up when I started to stay at home, or when I got married, or whatever it might be. I am telling you that you live one life. And if you live that life primarily motivated by pleasing others or living up to the expectations of others, you're missing out on those deep down dreams in your heart. What are those things that you gave up in the past? And maybe even now you think, that seems silly, or that would be weird to go back to school for that, or people wouldn't expect me to do that, or my spouse would think that was nuts, or, people at my age don't do that kind of thing. It's never too late. You have deep down dreams inside of you. And if you're unaware of those because you've just been pleasing the people around you, living up to their expectations, you are missing out on those deep down dreams. You don't want to end your life at 65, 75, 85, 95 years old and be like, well, I just, I never really got a chance to do that. The years just passed by. I enjoyed, being with my kids, and that's all good. That's all great. But is there something within you that you have been setting aside, caring for all the people around you? And is this perchance a season of starting to care for yourself? Is this a season for you to embrace that true identity that is within you? To start to say, I don't know about this whole thing of living up to the expectation of all these people in my life. Maybe it's time for me to embrace who I really am inside in this season of life. Maybe it's time for me to begin to embrace that unique purpose that I'm sensing is starting to rise up within me. Maybe it's time for me to do some excavation of the heart, to dig down deep and discover that dream that I kind of tucked away in the corners of my heart. Okay, so I believe that if we are limiting ourselves by simply living up to the expectations of others, simply pleasing people in our lives, that we are living primarily by these external motivations. And what would it look like to begin to look within at what our own values are. Maybe you've been living up to the expectations of others and pleasing people for so long, you're not even sure what your values are. You're not even sure what your dreams are. You're not even sure what your true identity is. And I got to tell you, the people that go through our Launch Your Life online coaching experience, they discover all of those things. I get so excited about hearing how their lives are transformed. Women who are 40, 50, 60 years old who are going, man, I forgot about this. I forgot that it was even in my heart. So I want to challenge you today with two questions. One, whose expectations are you living up to in all aspects of your life? I want you to think about your home life. I want you to think about your kids, your family, your friends. Are you seeking to live up to the expectations of any of those people just to please them? Are you seeking to live up to the expectations of your boss or coworkers? Or what would it look like for you to begin to explore what's motivating you internally? Now, I'm going to tell you, when you start to do this excavating, there can be a cost to starting to say, what do I want to do with my life? And does that perhaps stand in contrast to what everyone has expected of me, either because of their own agenda or because of how I've behaved previously? Now, I'm not talking about doing things just to upset others. I'm just saying, raising your awareness that as you make some of these, as you come to these conclusions, as you start to unearth things in your own heart, that it could surprise people a bit. There could be a bit of a cost to having some conversations to say, I'm wanting to make some shifts in my life, and I'm wanting you to know that's okay. It's okay to make shifts. It's okay to grow and expand. It's okay to be motivated by your own values, your own hopes, and your own dreams, not just by the expectations of those around you. So number one, whose expectations have you been living up to in all different aspects of life? And number two, how is that possibly causing you to miss out on life? How is that possibly causing you to miss out on life? I want you to think about those two questions. They're very important questions because in this season of life, no matter where you're at, no matter what age you find yourself, even if you're 25, 35, 45, 55, 65, 75, 85, 95, even if you're listening to this and you're 105, which I doubt you are, you have one life to live. And I want you to live it fully embracing your true identity, discovering and embracing your unique purpose in this season of life, and embracing those deep down dreams and developing a solid plan to go after those dreams because it's never too late. I believe in you, and I believe that you have internal motivations that have yet to be explored, and I'm here as your friend and as your launch coach to help you do that and cheer you on in the process. Number one, whose expectations have you been seeking to live up to? And number two, how might that be causing you to miss out on life? If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to the Inspiration Rising podcast on the Apple or Google podcast app that's already on your phone. Search Inspiration Rising, click subscribe, and then tell a friend. Tell them what you enjoyed about this episode. Send a screenshot, text it to them. Hey, go old school. Call them and tell them that Inspiration Rising is the place to listen to inspiring content that will give you actionable insights to make a difference in your life. And also, be sure to join the Inspiration Rising Insiders private Facebook group. Go to insporising.com/insiders. All right, have a wonderful week, and we'll talk to you next time.